Given. This is our review of Death to Smoochy. Summarized in how many middle fingers we would give it, or how much we would with it. So, Mr. Royal, what would you have given Death to Smoochy?
We have a job and a responsibility to, no matter how we feel emotionally, we still have to have a job to do. So I would have given 3 out of 5. The reason why I give it 3 is because the fact that I know it could have been more. Mm-hmm. Like you said, it comes from a time to where after knowing who Danny DeVito is, I know Danny DeVito, the actor. I don't know the person, and I've only seen the director 1 or 2 times. I can't tell you. I think he's done a few other things, but with that being said, it has nothing to do just with Danny DeVito. It's the sum of all parts. You have legends in this film. You have so many elements of it, and it's telling us they took a chance. Remember how we said this before? Sometimes you can only be so good in a film, and when a film is called Death to Smoochy, it's about I just feel like somebody sat down. One day was like, man, I'm tired of watching Barney. I'm tired of seeing this and I want him to die. And somebody was like, yeah, man, but you just can't have a movie about that. Okay, well, what about if Barney replaced the guy before like that? So to me, I feel like they tried to. This is the best that I think it could have been, because again, you have Edward Norton, Danny DeVito, you have Catherine Kerner. You have so many you have so many people playing these roles in it. And it's just like, man, it had the watching it last night. I felt good. I felt bad because we will never see Robin Williams again. But at the same time, I was just like, man, I just wish they would have vetted this out a little bit more. But even if they did, this is the best I think it could have been. That's just my opinion. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm almost right there with you. I give it a 3.5. I will start with the good. I will end with the bad. The good, the art direction, the cinematography, they were all great. The lighting was spot on. The style of the movie, again, that crime noir look was very interesting. It was an interesting look for a movie that a dark comedy takes shape on top of. I thought the balance of that was cool. I don't remember ever seeing that before. There was one particular shot in the where they're what's her name? The Spinner's aunt,
his mom. Yeah.
Where she's talking to Sheldon in the like stands of where they're gonna do where they're like doing the ice show. Mm-hmm. And when that transition is so seamless when she says, oh, we'll take care of him or whatever, and she crosses, and she like seemingly crosses right from the rafters of the ice rink into Parade of Hope's office, and it's like it's seamless. And then there's that really cool shot at the end where it's spinning around Edward Norton and Catherine Keener. There was just, you don't usually see that much cinematography, or that much finesse put into the technical side of a comedy. Like, it kind of goes back to Tropic Thunder. It was a comedy, but they shot it in a serious way.
100%.
It was a pleasant surprise to see Robin Williams get to explore such a dark, demented character, and on the flip side of that, see Edward Norton get to explore such an innocent, childlike character. These were roles that at the time we've never seen them in before, so that was a treat to watch. With that, so I haven't seen the movie in over 10 years. When I was watching it last night, I kept thinking, like, I remember this movie being so much funnier. Like, I remember dying laughing, and I don't know if it was just because I was younger and it was the first time I'd seen Robin Williams be so vulgar, and that just tickled me, or maybe my tastes have changed in what I find funny. I don't know what it is, but it wasn't as funny to me this time. And it might be, the only thing that I could think that is that watching Robin Williams play a character like that, knowing the state that his mind was in like the final chapter of his life, it's as great as he is in it, and I could, like, his performance is amazing, but it's almost too good watching him, because you know now in hindsight that those emotions were coming from, he was digging them up from a real place somewhere inside, and it just kind of makes the best part about this movie, Robin Williams, come with an air of bittersweetness with everything that he does in it because of what happened to him in reality. So I think that maybe is kind of like a wet blanket on top of, unfortunately, on top of the movie. I mean, at one point, that scene where he's pouring the gasoline on himself and he's about to light himself on fire.
Don't do it, Rainbow!
Yeah, it's like, oh man, that part used to be.
I saw an angel.
It was
This should stop me from killing myself. You see what I'm saying? Right. Hey, it's foreshadowing in the wrong way, man.
So I think it sucks though that the movie didn't get more recognition. It
You say that after saying that because
I'm talking about while Robin Williams was still alive,
yeah.
while it could have been appreciated for everything that it was. I think that. All right, so the movie has two major stars. It's directed by a major star. I mean, Robin Williams and Edward Norton. This is like Edward Norton around the time of Primal Fear, Fight Club, American History X. This is when he was like top. So you got him in it and Robin Williams. Why the wasn't this movie promoted more heavily? Most people, like James, who was on this episode, didn't even know this movie existed. There are people out there that are diehard Robin Williams fans.
They don't know it exists.
Yeah, so why? And the only reason that I could think of is because the movie pretty much makes a point out of the entire thing to demonize everything that the entertainment industry
corporate America, the wars, kids, we should be like you just said. Oh, we need to be serving them fruit, not this, that, and the. You're right.
Nora says it straight up in the movie. She says, "This is network television, buddy. You're out there to sell sugar and plastic," and that's like
they buried it.
So yeah, the movie, and then I mean, they take even charities like the Parade of Hope is downright evil. Do
you remember seeing one trailer for this film? Because I don't.
No. The only reason why I saw this because it came out around the time that I worked at Hollywood Video, and I would literally just bring any new release home and watch it, and that's how I discovered this movie. But yeah, I think you can't be that spot on about issues that. And Danny DeVito said it in an interview. He was like, that message wasn't really why I made the movie. I mean, he's like, we all know that. We all know that that's why we make movies or TV is to sell products or to market something. I mean, everybody knows that. So I don't think we're like breaking. But I think to do it that effectively in a satire, it made me look at things a little bit differently, and I can only imagine that they just, let's just keep that at a low roar so it doesn't get out of control.
They did the same thing to Nate Parker in Birth of a Nation, so at least they're equal opportunists.
Rotten Tomatoes gave the movie 42%. That's the average with critics, and 66% was the average audience score. Jay Hoberman with The Village Voice said Death to Smoochy is often very funny, but what's even more remarkable is the integrity of DeVito's misanthropic vision. And Richard Roper was not a fan. He said he's obviously not a fan of Death to Smoochy.
Or France.
Pardon my French. I'm sure some country, maybe France or something, will hail this as a work of genius because it is so incredibly awful. Critics and audiences are kind of divided down the middle, which is, I think, a testament to any great movie is going to have people that love it and hate it.
Why don't you subscribe? It'll last longer.